Okay, so with quite a few new subscribers in the last few months, I had this idea to actually introduce myself, but I'm still a bit shy, and so I'm not ready for a YouTube live yet, guys. Forgive me, I'm gonna get there. But I still wanted to introduce myself in the least awkward way possible. And so, of course, I put a poll out in the community to see what you guys were thinking because I had an idea, just the same way that we used to do Meet the Bookstagrammers on the Bookstagram when I used to be on it. Why not a Meet the Booktuber? I'm sure someone has done it before. I haven't seen much Meet the Booktuber videos, but I'm sure you guys have done it. I'm just new to the game, innit? And so I put a poll, should I do a Meet the Booktuber, or do you guys want to ask me all your questions and I do a Q&A? But a Q&A seems very much like a YouTube live type of vibe. So we're going to start with a Meet the Booktuber just to introduce myself and give you guys all the tea on me and see what you guys think. Now, I have also like subscribed to some amazing booktubers in the last few months who I have fallen in love with, and I just absolutely love their content and all their videos. And like I said, I'm new to the game, so they've probably already introduced themselves and told us all about them. Um, but me being me, it doesn't hurt to ask. You know, you don't ask, you don't get. So I'm going to tag a few booktubers who I love, who I've been watching, and who I'd love to get to know a bit more. And you know what? Consider this like a new tag. How about you make a video introducing yourself to us? I'm doing this for me, but I can say us to make it seem less snaggy. Yeah, just a Meet the Booktuber tag just for fun. Now, because this is really just me introducing myself and me asking people to do it, I have no set questions. So let's call it a loose tag and let's see what we get. Let's get into it. Hi. So, as you guys heard already, today is going to be a break from all the drama. And I know that you guys actually want to continue because there's a lot that's been going on in the book world. And believe me, I'm trying my best to keep updated so that I can come to you guys and give you all the tea and also give you my opinions on the tea. But I have to collect all of the relevant information on said tea before I start giving you guys incorrect information because this recent one is a doozy. But to give us all a break from the chaos of just being part of the book world, the literary world, yeah, this seemed like a very, very cute little palate cleanser for both you and I. So let's get into it. Yeah? Let's start. Okay, first and foremost, just by the name of this channel, I think everyone has guessed my name is Shelly. Yes, that's me. Look at very, very, aren't I awesome? Okay. I remember being young, I didn't actually like my name. I'm just like, everyone had these cute names that they can like shorten or like had a cute nickname for. And I was just like, I don't really like it, but I love my name. Now, I've grown and matured. I love my name now. And I am 26. And I'm actually going to be 27 and in a few weeks. I kid you not, my birthday is in May, and I wasn't actually planning to do anything big to celebrate at all. But then my friend last minute, who is her birthday is 2 days away from mine, she's just like, "How about we do this?" And so the last minute plan is going to be sick. Hopefully, I can like create a little vlog for you guys and let you guys know what's up. But yeah, so my birthday's in May, so I'm going to be 27 in a few weeks, and that is so exciting to me. I know a few people don't actually like aging, but me, I am all for it. I love getting older every single year. I think it's amazing. I'm like, you are more mature, you're more intelligent, you're wiser. I'm like, why do you guys not want to grow older? And you know what? With all the things that we learn in our past years, we're making better decisions, so we're making more money, so we should be richer with every year. I mean, this economy is crashing, like not even just in this country, in almost every other country. Like the economies are not doing well, and so that might not be the case. But you know what, we're hoping that with every year of age, more money is coming in. So I love getting older. And it seems like the people in their 30s are having the most fun. They're just like, the 20s is for setting yourself up for the enjoyment that you're going to have in your 30s. And so I'm all for it, 100%. And so I'm all for getting older. So for those of you who are not for it, How about you change your perspective a bit? Like, let's be real, you're going to have so much fun when you're older because you would have set yourself up for great, great enjoyment in the future. So, how about that? Now, one thing about me that I think most people know, but a few people don't, especially like if you're a subscriber and you know nothing about me, is that I love Jesus. I'm a very devout Christian. My faith is very, very important to me. Like, very, very important to me. And the way I see the world, the way I view the world, the way I even interact with people around me, and even viewers, I think, is from my faith, from the love that I have from my faith. Like, you guys will see, even in the comments, like even people who disagree with me, one thing I have said, and I will say, I'm not the one nor the two. Like, don't come for me if I don't send for you, but the way I respond will always be in love. I'm not gonna attack anyone needlessly, and that is from what I have gained and what I have learned from, my faith and my love for Jesus and his love for me. So I think that's something that, yeah, a few people, especially the subscribers, will not know. It's like my absolute love for Jesus and the love that I have for people because of his love for me. Next, my nationality. So I'm like a tri-national. So let's start from the beginning. I am Haitian. But listen. I'm a very, very proud Haitian. I love being Haitian so much. Haitian food, the Haitian language, the Haitian culture, everything about being Haitian slaps. Like, please don't touch. I am so in love with my culture and everything that comes with it. Obviously, if you know the history of Haiti, you know that Haiti hasn't had the best of times historically, but I have always been proud of how Haiti has pulled itself up every single time that it's been knocked down. And right now we're seeing it, we're seeing people try to knock it down quite a lot. But I have faith that they will rise as they have risen before. I absolutely love being Haitian. It is one thing that brings me pride, is that part of my identity, my Haitian identity. So I am Haitian. So that's from both my parents, my mom and my dad, full-blooded Haitian here. I definitely, yeah, my culture is definitely part of me. I speak the language. I cook the food, not always. I would even like to. I do not always cook the food because so many steps sometimes, and it's long. And so I'm just like, I'm a cheater sometimes. I'm so sorry to admit it, but I can cook the food. Okay. Mimi, please, do not beef me. I know some people try to come for me. I am Turks Islander as well, from Turks and Caicos. Yes, those that country, that island that the celebrities always going to. Yeah, that is the island that I was actually born and raised in. So I am Haitian Turks Islander. My parents migrated from Haiti when my mom was actually pregnant with me, I believe. And so I was born and raised in Turks and Caicos. So from birth all the way up to 18, that was my home. Listen, growing up in Turks, that's an experience. And sometimes I'm just like, did I get the full experience? Because I was a very kind of like inside child. By choice, no, but then what can you do? Yeah, so I wasn't very much out of my house at all, outside of like the three Haitian L's. If you're Haitian, you know what they are. I'm gonna just let you guys in. It's called l'école, la caille, l'église, and that means you are in school, you are at home, or you are in church. Like, that's the three. And my parents definitely abided by the three Haitian L's for most of my life. Okay, so I didn't really leave my house that much, but yeah, Turks food, Turks people, Turks culture. Turks, growing up in Turks is definitely a vibe, 100%, and I loved it. I love my upbringing. I love aspects of my upbringing. Let me just clarify there. There were some points, obviously, I think there are some points of everyone's upbringing that they wish they could change. But obviously, me being mature, I can see, the good in everything that I experienced, because look where I am now, and that was part of my experience, and that's part of what brought me here. So I am Haitian Turks Islander, but as of recent years, I also have British nationality, as in full British nationality. Turks and Caicos is a British territory, for those of you who do not know, and that, gives us Turks Islanders many rights. So after high school, I did my A levels at home as well, but then I came to the UK for uni, and I've graduated twice over, and I found a job And I stayed because, let's be real, my entire adult life from 18 onwards has been spent in the UK. And so this new person who's been created, adult Shelley, has spent her time here. And so as much as I love Turks, the UK has become a home to me. I live in Manchester, UK. I know there are a few people in Manchester. I know a lot of you guys are in America, but I know there are a few people in Manchester and UK. Honestly, you might never see me. I do not leave my house. I am still a homebody. I am actually a homebody. I was made a homebody by kind of like force as a child, but I'm a homebody like by choice now. So I would love to say that you might see me as you are roaming the streets of Manchester if you live in Manchester, but the chances are very, very slim. Okay. So that is me in terms of like my cultural identity. I'm a Haitian Turks Island girl who is living in Britain and has claimed Britain as her own. And you know what? Outside of the horrendous weather, I am loving it. I will always, just like a proper Mancunian, insult the weather. I'm so sorry. The weather is crap. It is absolutely crap. It's terrible. We can't win. We can't win. I kid you not. I went out with my friend the other day and we experienced about the entire 4 seasons in one day. A single day. And I couldn't even call it the single day. We were only out for about 2 hours and we experienced all forms of weather in those 2 hours. And yet this is the this is the choice I've made to say goodbye to literal turquoise beaches, sand, oh god, and fresh seafood for this. But I do love it here. I do. But that weather though, trash. That aside, let's keep it pushing. What's next? As you would have heard, I am a graduate twice over. Yes, I did my bachelor's in accounting and finance, graduated, and decided, you know what, I want to do a master's. Yeah, I know. And that master's is in economic and financial analysis. Fun fact, and I don't know who this is fun for, but I'm going to call it a fun fact to just kind of, forget the trauma. I did my master's full time while working full time during COVID. I wouldn't wish it on my enemy. I'm sorry. Like, you know what? And it wasn't just the degree and the job and the pandemic. I also had other responsibilities, like several other responsibilities that kind of like increased in that same season. I was going through it. And so the fact that I finished my master's, honestly, glory to God, I kid you not, I remember for my very, very last module, I've done everything else, and all I have left is my last module before it's time for me to just focus on my dissertation. The day before it was due, I had a complete breakdown, and I almost dropped out of uni. I almost dropped out of my master's course. I'm not even joking. It was chaotic. It was absolute turmoil. And so to be able to like claim that degree is a source of great pride, because I know that during that time I was absolutely going through it. I was being destroyed. But here we are, we have your girl with 2 degrees and 2 degrees in subjects which are not, easy, like technical subjects. Everyone hates math, finance, and numbers. And I'm just like, I enjoy them. And here we are. Now, you would think, oh, okay, with your degrees, that means you're either an accountant or an economist, right? No, I am I'm an operational consultant / analyst. Yeah. My career path has been, it's been interesting. I won't even lie to you, but it's been great. And you know what? I am a very, very proud serial job hopper. In the last 4 years, I've had 4 jobs. And no, it's not about anything to do with, oh, if your generation, don't start with me. Please don't start with me. No. I definitely believe in being where you believe you need to be to achieve your purpose. And I kid you not, for every job, I enjoyed those jobs. And when I felt the need to do something else and go somewhere else, I will do it. When I feel like I've gained skills and I've contributed to and I can do more, but I do not have the opportunity to do more, I will leave. And also, in this economy where I feel like this pay will not sustain me in my life, I will also dip. With every job that I went to, my salary increased and increased and increased. Please, baby, baby, baby. Yes, yes, yes. Let's not act like the money isn't important. I know when we go to job interviews and they ask, why do you want this job? Why do you want this role? Da da da. And we will all give our great answer about, you know what, how you want to make a change and how you enjoy this task. And you know what? It's not saying that these things aren't true. They are true. But at the end of the day, I also like the money that you guys are offering with this role. Let's not get it twisted. Money is important in this society because we live in a capitalist society. And you know what? We need the money. We need the money. So with every job that I've gotten, the salary has increased. I'm not decreasing because I'm not changing my lifestyle. Do you guys see the amount of books behind me? They cost money. They cost money. Now, of course, I've received some books, you know, from like publishers and working with publishers, and that's great, but not all of them. So please, we need the money. So I'm a very, very proud serial job hopper because there's no shame in my game. Not at all. Like, there's a reason why I move. And I move very, very happily. So with every year since I've graduated and started working, I've been in a new position. And I do not care. I do not care. Now, that new position could be a new position in the same company, but it just didn't happen in that way. So it is what it is. That being said, guys, don't get it twisted. Right now, in the company that I am in right now, I am loving my job. I feel like this might be the company that I actually spend more than like 1 year in. Shocker, right? It's a shocker to me because quite frankly, I remember saying that before and I didn't follow through. Well, but with this job, I can actually see myself here for a substantial amount of time, and I'm actually really, really happy to be able to say that. Because guys, job hopping, I feel like when people look down on people who are serial job hoppers or serial job changers, you guys think it's easy. It's not. You know what? You're applying for jobs, and you're getting rejections. Don't get it twisted. We get rejections even for jobs that we're qualified for. We get rejections even for a job that we know we can do better than what they have. We get rejections. And let's not forget that we have to go through the interview stage. I hate interviews. I hate interviewing, okay? Sometimes I don't even know how I get jobs. For my last, I think, 3 jobs, I've been confused as to how I secured that job. Because in my head, the interview was a bit weak. Actually, no, the last 2 jobs. For the job before that, I nailed that interview and I knew it. But for this current job and the job I had before that, I don't know how I landed it because I was questioning myself after that interview. So the fact that your girl ended up here, oh, we don't know. I do not like interviews. No one likes interviews. If you like interviews, you're a bit special. But yeah, I don't like them. So for those of us who are looking down on the people jumping jobs, don't think that we're doing this for fun. Like, no one enjoys this. The recruiters that keep playing games, that message you and say, oh, can we arrange a call and never call you back? Oh, we can arrange an interview and the interview is never set up. It is not a game. These streets are mean. These streets are not nice. But here we are and we're happy. Now, let's go to the actual books, okay? Because this is a booktube channel. So, I know that you're at this booktube channel and, you've seen my reviews, especially like recently I've been doing my 31 book reviews in 31 days. And you're probably just like, oh, she reads so much. Fair. One, I've been having the worst reading year I've had since I've started to read. Like, I kid you not, I've read so few books this year. And I'm like, is it a book slump? Is it something in the air that I caught? I'm like, I know life is lifing, but that has never stopped me before, okay? In fact, when life gets tough, I read more to escape life. So I don't know what's going on. That being said, let me give you a bit of history when it comes to me and reading. Now, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this on this channel several times, but I was very, very late to reading. Like, while people were reading in primary school, middle school, high school, even in college, while people were like obsessed with reading, that was not me. And it's really funny because I'm just like, the kind of child that I was, reading definitely would have helped me. Like, reading definitely would have given me that like escape in this found family that I love. So I'm just like, I don't know why I didn't really jump into reading. Now, I had little moments where I would like start, where I would get into it, because we had we had library slots in our timetables. So you kind of were like forced to read, but a lot of times in library people were just gossiping, and I loved listening to it. I won't lie to you. I won't really gossip, but I'll listen to it. I definitely did when I was younger. I loved listening to it because I definitely believe that knowledge is power, and I basically knew a lot without being involved in anything. So it was great for me. But I started reading extremely late, and that was around A levels. I took English for A levels because I was recommended to take English. I will say it now, it wasn't my choice. And I find that really funny because I ended up getting the top English award. And I actually ended up like really, really enjoying English. And I do believe that it probably contributed to where I am now, because we started the year having to do a book report, and you could get like house points if you like submitted, book reports, book reviews. And so that encouraged me to start reading. But when I started reading, I had this idea in my head. And I definitely think, I probably should speak about this in another video about like the aesthetic of the reading girl. And so I had this idea in my head that, okay, if I want to be a reader, I have to start from the beginning. And so I'm like, I want to read all the classics, so I know like I can go through the actual proper trajectory of a reader. I did not know that some people can really just start randomly from whatever like genre you liked and just be happy that way. Nah, I was just like, obviously everyone started with the classics, so I'm gonna start with the classics. And so I started reading Shakespeare, and Shakespeare is dramatic, guys. I'm sorry. Once you get past that stupid language bump, like if you like the drama, then you really should be reading Shakespeare. They're doing the most, but very questionable things in there. And then I think the book that really kind of sucked me in, and to this day is still one of my favorite books, and it really kind of solidified to me that reading was it. And that was Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. And I think that's hilarious because if you have been with me in this channel, then you know that I don't read that many romances. It's not that I won't read romances, but I don't read that much. But one of my favorite books is a romance. But see, this is the thing. After reading Pride and Prejudice, and after reading more of Jane Austen's books, like Emma is also a favorite of mine, and then you read kind of like the romance of today's day. I'm just like, you guys aren't doing romance correctly, If you can give me something like that, then I can get into romance. But yeah, so I read Pride and Prejudice and I fell in love with it immediately. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm definitely on the right path. I have to read more classics because they're great. And I remember reading The Scarlet Letter, and I was just like, that's all right. I was trying so hard to love The Scarlet Letter. I was just like, you know what? Yeah, it was good. I was trying so hard to love The Scarlet Letter, and it really was just a basic book. And I like, you guess the ending like 30% of the way there, and you're just like, what happened at the end? I'm like, I guessed it. I guessed part of it, but then you guys threw something random in there that I still don't get where it came from. If you know, you know. But I was just like, well, this has thrown me off. But then I at that point I remembered the books that I have had experience reading, during high school and stuff like that I really enjoyed, and I didn't really know like the genre that it was in. So I was just like, I just need a book that's like that, so start giving me recommendations. So those type of books were like historical fiction and YA dystopian. I didn't know like what genre they were in yet. I just knew that those were the type of books I wanted. So I remember doing a bunch of research and finding a bunch of books that kind of fit that same genre, and I made a list, and I'm like, I'm going to start reading. Going to start getting into it. And then obviously I was in A levels and exams were coming up. I needed to get into uni, and even that was starting to cause a bunch of chaos. So the reading had to be put on pause. And then I'm like, okay, when I get to uni, I'll get back into it. I'll pick it up again. Obviously, first year, I'm trying to, find activities to do, find friends, be acquainted to a new city, new country, like everything, new people. So reading was not top of my list. Not that type of reading. We'll get to that a bit later. And then literally towards the end of that year is when I picked up a book, a sci-fi book, and I was just like, oh, so good, so good, so good. And for the rest of the year, I started reading slowly but surely. I started reading, and then I found one of my now ultimate favorite series, by Laura Thalassa, and it's called, like, it's the Fallen World series. So the first book, The Queen of All That Dies, hooked me immediately. I was just like, please forever be mine. And then I started reading Selection and read Queen, and so my YA dystopian journey began. I know, like, Laura Thalassa's book was NA, but yeah, it was kind of like the only NA book I read. I started reading a bunch of YA dystopian, and then I started just reading YA, just contemporary fiction, and then just YA classic fantasy, and then I was hooked. It was over. That is when my reading journey began. But see, and this is the thing, I read everything. So as much as I started to compile this list of, YA dystopian books I need to collect and read, I, started to see other books that looked interesting, other genres. And I'm like, I'm going to give it a try. And you know what? You have to try your best. So that's when I think I started to, like, seek titles that I'm going to try, like thrillers and such. And I started to experiment. Obviously, I still stuck with YA fantasy. I really did. But I did have in mind what genres I might like. But I think that's kind of where, like, my I will read anything, vibe comes from, because I know that there was a journey to get here, and I still didn't fully explore the other genres. So I know that there are more genres that I would like out there, and I have read several genres. So I know definitely that I've enjoyed several other genres, and I can, find love in them. So I am known to just mainly read fantasy and now thrillers. But believe me when I say I'll read anything. If it's a good book, I will read it. And you know what? I will give my honest review, as you guys have seen. Now, I will read anything, as you guys have seen, and I see that, the collection has grown, but that's not all that I read. And before I really, really got into, like, reading, like, fiction novels, I actually started reading more comic books. I've always been, a comic book fan. And I remember, like, coming here, and my cousin, she introduced me to Forbidden Planet. And I walked in there and I was just like, oh my goodness, it's a shop for nerds. And I saw comic books and I was just like, oh my goodness, that's so cool. And then I'm just like, do they have one in Manchester? Because my cousin lives down south, and I was just staying with her until, like, my uni accommodation was ready. And she's just like, oh, this is a like a multinational store. They'll definitely have one in a big city like Manchester. She's just like, just make sure you find it. So within, like, I think the first week of me being in Manchester, I found the Forbidden Planet. I subscribed to a bunch of comics, and that's where, like, my physical comic journey began. Because before that, I used to find comics online, or, where the online sites where you could read them, and I'd read comics, and that's where I had, like, the history of reading, like, the older comics. But, like, the newer comics, I'm just like, for the first time, I'll be able to collect them. I'll be able to, like, because I was just like, wait, are they still actually printing these? Because I honestly did not know, because we don't have comic shops back in Turks. And so I was like, oh my goodness, they're still printing these. Like, I would watch Big Bang Theory, and I'm just like, I thought this was just just for fun. I'm like, please. Comic stores like that are probably, like, very few and in between. But no. Oh my goodness. And my comic collection started. So right now, I have a comic book collection that you usually don't ever see. I actually don't think you guys, I don't think I've ever posted it really on my channel. My comic book collection, I believe, is over 4,000 comic books. And the thing is, I read both. I read both DC and Marvel. I know people are just like, which are you? I'm like, please, we're not playing that game. We're not children. They both have amazing titles, which I adore. So I read both. But the thing is, I do not stop at Marvel and DC. Yes, they're, the biggest, but there are other amazing titles that go beyond those two. And so I read independent comics a lot. I read Boom Studios. Honestly, if it's a good book, good series, I'm gonna pick it up. So I love my comic books, and yeah, that collection is 4,000, and the amount of titles I have, yeah, it's insane. But I'm proud of my collection. It's just it never is organized. I won't lie to you. So I just never film there. And also it's just a weird area to film in. And so yeah, I'm not filming there. But yeah, maybe one day I'll give a tour. But because like obviously comics are really, really small, and because I have thousands, yeah, it's really hard to kind of like sort them in a way that other people understand. Like I can go to my shelves and I know where an exact comic is. Like the same with my books. I know where things are, but they're mine. I have this system for organizing them, which is actually very, very sensible. But I'm like, to go through it, it's gonna take a minute, especially with all the titles that I have. So the day of me explaining my comic collection has not arrived yet. I don't know when it will arrive. Hopefully it will, but believe me, it's not here yet. I'm so so sorry. I apologize. Yeah, sorry. Now, that being said, I think you guys could kind of even catch the vibe. I read a lot of books and I read a lot of comics. See, that's just like two small things. I am a major nerd. I kid you not, I'm a major nerd. I don't just read comics and read books, which are like, I kid you not, I feel like most people who have nerdy hobbies kind of have one, like one of like a few nerdy hobbies. I kind of have all of them. Like, I kid you not, I belong to every single fandom you can think of. I am a Trekkie, you know. I am part of the Rebel Alliance. I am a hunter. am I am a half blood. Guys, I am part of every nerd fandom. I've had experience, like I've read or watched or yeah, just contributed to so many fandoms. I am a full nerd, and not just that, not just like reading comics and watching nerdy movies and nerdy shows and reading books. No, 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 no. I am also a gamer now. This I have to put an asterisk at because I used to be a gamer, like an online gamer, before I started reading and before, I came to the UK and was able to buy comics. And so that was actually more so where I started. Obviously, I watched Star Trek and, Star Wars and everything. So those I still had as part of my like nerd journey. But gaming, online gaming was for me. I love Terra and I love World of Warcraft. There were certain games I couldn't get into, like League of Legends. I just could never get into. Please don't judge me. I'm so sorry. I can't. Um Honestly, I started getting into The Sims and I fell off. And I'm really upset because it's really gotten complex and I'm now lost what's going on. But I was an online gamer, and when I moved here, and literally just when I started to get into like reading novels, I got my PlayStation. So my brother used to have one. I used to play on his, but obviously older brother, and he had his rules for his things. So I finally got my own PlayStation because I was working and I paid for it, and so that's where my gaming started to shift. But luckily, things like a lot of these online games you can't find them to play on your PlayStation, like Elder Scrolls. I can play on my PlayStation, but with all of these different interests, and let's not forget, guys, I came here to study. I was a student. I had responsibilities and study and things studying to do. With all of my different interests, things started to fall off. Okay, I started to fall behind on my comic readings, and so I would have to play catch up. And then I started to neglect playing games, and so it was more so kind of like oh, I'll play when I have time. And so I kid you not, I do not game as much as I if I did. But the thing is, I still like every now and then I'm just like, you know what? Let's go on the PlayStation. Let's let's play some Arkham. Like I will just enjoy it and have some fun. So I'll put I'm a gamer with asterisks. So I'm just like I'm not a gamer like people who are just like proper gaming every day. Like, they are on every leaderboard, they're in the communities, they're a part of the discussions. No, I've kind of taken a step back. But I have been feeling the itch to return to like online gaming. PlayStation gaming, I'm just like, I will definitely leave that for just casual enjoyment. But online gaming, the community of online gaming is like, it's a different vibe. If you're there, Like, I used to love just creating different profiles and getting to a certain level and then just starting over. I did it all the time where I'm just like, I got to level 90 and everything. And then I'm just be like, let's now pick a different. So I'd be like, oh, let me be a dark elf. And I'm like, you know what? Let's try and make something difficult. Let's be a human. Let's see a different path. So I would love doing that. And I'm starting to feel the itch of wanting to do that again, guys. Like, oh my goodness. I miss it so much. Having several interests when I was a uni student, it didn't work out. For example, I'm not that much of a sporty person. As a kid, I tried quite a few sports, mainly because we had to in school. But even outside of school, I started to, I tried a few sports as well. But I actually loved basketball when I was in high school, and I had this denial. So for like my first few years of uni, I I would stay up until like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. because of the time difference with the UK and the US. Obviously, the games were way later, but I would stay up until 2, 3 a.m. watching it. But as the years go by and your studies are harder and you need your sleep, I mean, I'm an insomniac, but I still needed to do my coursework, not watch the games. I couldn't follow up anymore. And I remember actually going through this rude awakening because I would stop watching the game but still keep up with what was happening during the season. And then at one point I just couldn't keep up anymore, and but I'm just like, I'll check who won the championship, I'll check who's in the playoffs. And even at one point I wouldn't check as much, and I think I was still in denial because I would still be like, oh, I'm a huge basketball fan, and I still really love the sport, like the fundamentals of the sport. I love it. Like, this is a sport that I would really beef people in school for, and I'm not joking. I would probably be beefing my classmates about my team. Like, I kid you not, I was and still am a Boston Celtics supporter. Um, Forever, forever for the Celtics. But I kept calling myself, like, a huge fan who followed everything. And then I had this rude awakening where I had this meeting one time, and at the end, I don't know how we got to the topic of basketball, but I'm just like, oh, I watch basketball as well. They're just like, come on. I'm just like, yeah, I do. And they're like, what's your team? I'm like, Celtics. They're like, name 5 players on the team. And that it had been years since I had watched a game. And so I couldn't name a single player. Like, and I was just like, I think it was that point where I realized, Shelly, I don't think you can call yourself a fan anymore. And I wanted to like die. I was just like, you know what? No. Am I just a supporter? Oh my goodness. I was just like, I'm not a fan anymore. And I wanted to cry. Um, it is still, I still have not caught up with, everything to do with Celtics. So I'm still going to claim supporterdom and no longer fandom until I can actually get back into the game. I do still keep up in terms of like what happens in the playoffs and even trades. I've started to like get back into it, which I'm happy because that means I'm slowly getting back into the game. But I do not watch every game like I used to. So I'm a Celtic supporter and mini fan. But I also love F1, and I support Mercedes and McLaren. Now, if you know F1, then it's not like other team sports where even when players get traded or players move on, you stick with your team. No, 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 no. F1, there are only 2 players per team. Okay, and so when the players are moving, our support might shift. If you are an F1 fan, you have heard, the recent everything that's going on, especially with Lewis Hamilton. And the thing is, though, even though obviously the players make the team and so people are free to kind of like move with their players, I love Mercedes. I love Mercedes. So I definitely will stick with Mercedes, even though, there's a whole Lewis Hamilton shift. And I think the same with McLaren. Those two have been my teams. I love them. And I love Carlos so much. Like, Carlos is, I kid you not, one of my favorite racers. He's been one of my favorites since he was like Red Bull days. Like, I've loved him so much. Well, not Red Bull Junior Team, when they were Toro Rosso. The amount of name changes in F1 is insane. Sometimes I lose track. Like, if you're not one of the main teams I follow, I forget your name. The fact that I still know that AlphaTauri is AlphaTauri now. I'm just, actually, no, they're Cash App Red Bull. See what I mean? So many name changes. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent. If you're not an F1 fan, then you do not get this lingo. But anyway, huge F1 fan. Those are the two teams I support, and I also obviously support other players who are not in those teams. So it's always a bit difficult for me. I will support my players 100%, but I also support my team. So it's always a bit like a conflict of interest sometimes. But I'm really, really hoping that Carlos gets the Mercedes seat. I am really hoping. Like, I'm just like, guys, Carlos has shown time and time again that he deserves a high caliber seat. He has shown time and time again that he is one of the best racers in F1. Like, I'm not playing games with you. He doesn't deserve any seat less than a Red Bull or a Mercedes, because obviously Ferrari was one of the top teams. So I'm just like, he cannot get a seat that is not Red Bull or Mercedes. Like, I feel like I will go there and riot if one of those two teams don't offer him a seat. Now, Red Bull, I've had a very complicated relationship with Red Bull. I don't really care for it at all. Obviously I liked when Daniel was in it and stuff like that. Daniel, that's a whole other conversation for another day, and I really do feel like I should make an F1 video, even though it's not my like area of like speaking. I speak on books, but like I said, I'm a huge fan and I follow everything, and so I feel like I need to have a conversation on it because there's a lot to be said. But honestly, I hope Checo loses his seat and it's given to Carlos. And I'm just going to end the F1 rant there. Let's move on to the next topic. Okay, let's just go. Part of me being a nerd, like I'm telling you guys, I'm a nerd. I'm a deep nerd. So it's not just that I'm part of every fandom. I also watch anime and read manga and manhwa. So yeah, I read the Korea, like I read webtoons. Guys, I'm a nerd in every sense of the word. This is why I'm just like, even when obviously I moved out to come to the UK and I wasn't like back at home where I didn't have as much freedom, I still didn't leave my house. Because I'm 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 a homebody. And a lot of people don't believe this because I can be very energetic and very loud, but I am a huge introvert. And I'm always just like, guys, just because I'm loud and I'm very social with people I'm comfortable with, that doesn't mean no, an introvert is someone who gets their energy from like being alone, being with themselves. And I'm just like, guys, that's actually me, and I'm not joking. Like, I love you guys. When I'm around you guys see all the energy, but just being around people, I'm like, that takes it out of me for a good week or two. And so I can't do it. But you know what? All of these things that I love, they give me energy. I get to be home alone. Like, I'm either reading a book or a comic or a manga or a manhwa, or I'm watching anime, or I'm watching Star Trek, Star Wars, Star Trek Discovery, Star Wars. Like, I have like all of my hobbies are nerd hobbies, and they suit my personality absolutely amazingly. I love it. But the thing is, you know, it's so funny. I'm not just a nerd, I'm also a geek. I love learning. I'll know like random facts for random things, and it's just because I love learning random things, and I actually love researching. If I find something interesting, it has nothing to do with my career, what I studied, nothing. Like, from since I was a child, I will research it. I will literally take my time going online, researching all the facts, like, I do not care. It doesn't add anything to what I do in like life, but I will know that fact. Like history, law, philosophy. Like, I'm just like, if I find a concept, a theory, a case study that is interesting concerning those areas, like, I will go and figure it out. Like, I'm a huge nerd, and obviously, like, as I mentioned, I love Jesus. So when it comes to theology, I can spend hours just like digging into the word. Like, it's insane. I am a huge geek. So it's really, really funny to me. I'm just like, Shelly, I was not made to thrive in the outside world. Even the fact that I thrive on like social media and like the sense of like, the small content creation that I do, I find surprising. I'm just like, I wasn't made for any form of anything outside of me. But I think because literally I'm talking to myself, to a screen, that's why it works. And I love that for me. Now, another thing that kind of like appeals to me, and like me just loving my time with me, I love movies, and I love having movie dates with myself. As in, I go to the movies alone all the time. I haven't gone to the movies in a bit because I feel like the quality of movies are decreasing, and also like I've been disliking leaving my house more and more. And so, especially because like I have to pay, I've recently passed my driver's test, yay, and I've recently like your girl is gonna get a car, and I feel like when I do get it, that will make going to the movies easier again. But we shall see, because like I said, I really just don't like leaving my house. My friends literally have to beg me to leave my house, and sometimes they get concerned. But I don't like leaving my house, except for like the few things that I do. Like, I kid you not. And I'm so sorry, I don't think that's gonna change anytime soon. Sorry. And the penultimate fact is the fact that I am a traveler, and a solo traveler at that. So years ago I did my uni placement in a travel company, and also everyone was telling me about like the trips that they had gone on and everything that they would see, and so it inspired me to start traveling. And I started traveling, and I think I went to like 5 countries in that year, and it just gave me the bug. But what's really terrible about that is that the next year, obviously I had to go back to uni, but I was still set on traveling. But then right after that, like I did a few trips, more obviously, and then COVID happened, and it kind of like disrupted the travel vibe. And obviously now that I'm an adult, I'm trying to be responsible. It's even harder because I'm just like, back in the day, I'm carelessly, like, I kid you not, I book a flight today and I'm out tomorrow. I did not care. And when I travel to enjoy. So my money, I spend it recklessly, but I'm really trying to be responsible as an adult, and it's really annoying me. But I travel, and I love that what travel has given me is like, it's given me so much. I've seen so much of the world, and I'm just like, the world is big and beautiful. I love the different cultures, different foods, and seeing people's different traditions, seeing, and hearing their languages. I love it so much. But it's also given me so much confidence because I go out now and I'm just like setting up my tripod boldly in public, and it's just such a freeing experience to be able to do that and not care what people are saying or what people think. And I love that, traveling has given me that. And as much as I want to be responsible, I also want to travel. So I'm setting some boundaries. I am still gonna travel, but not as much as I used to. But believe me, I'm going to go back to doing that very, very soon. So look out. And last but not least, the very, very last fact of this get to know me and meet the booktuber is that I love writing. I know I love reading, but I love writing, and more and more people are finding out about my love for writing. Very few people have read the things that I write, and very few people will, because I am still not ready to share it with the world. But I love writing, and I'm just like, one day maybe I will share it. But for now, I'm not sure about that. I don't know if I will. You know what? The goal is to finish pieces, and I think I have like one work that's like fully properly completed. Obviously, it's kind of like first draft. And I think the goal is actually to release it into the world. These pieces are like my babies. I love them. And I'm just like, it'd be great to find people who also love them as much as I do. But at the same time, you're kind of just like, yeah, that imposter syndrome really hits you hard with something like writing, especially when you're a reader and you're known for reading. Because it's just like, I read these amazing pieces and I'm just like, where do I compare? And I really don't. And it really gets to your head. And you're just like, but people just think I try to copy what I've written. I'm just like, sure, I would love to, but like not in that sense. And so writing is like the thing where I'm just like, will I pursue this in the future? Like genuinely, like I float around the idea all the time, but will I actually do it? It's one of those things. And I even consider like, do I make content about my writing? Do I tell people about the stories that I'm writing, the stories that I've written? And I'm just like, I don't know. How will it be received? I'm so terrified. And so writing is one of those things where it's kind of just like, where do I go from here? What do I do with this? What should I do? Should I do anything at all? Or can I just leave it to me? Because obviously, like, I've read amazing stories and they inspire writing, but then writing has more so been like a cathartic release. Like, I always say this, especially when people ask me to explain things. I'm like, I will do it in writing, and people know this of me. Like, you will see the things I write, and then you hear me speak. And as much as I try to explain things in a concise manner and speak as eloquently as possible, like, it does not come close to my writing. My writing comes out effortlessly. It's just my thoughts can actually make sense on paper. I do not know why. I'm like, I can express myself more freely in paper, and I'm just like, yeah, this is why I need writing. This is why the fact that YouTube has now become a medium for me to share my thoughts is hilarious to me, because I'm just like, I'm not an eloquent speaker, I'm not a great speaker. And I was so insecure about my speaking for ages because obviously of my lisp, as you guys will have noticed. But I'm not the best speaker. I wouldn't even say that I'm the best writer, but it's a form of expression which I feel confident and comfortable in, and so I will stick to it. But at the same time, that confidence and comfortability kind of gets snatched away when the prospect of other people, seeing it and reading it comes into the picture. And so I'm like, ooh. And recently a few people who, had no idea that, I even write as a hobby or anything, became aware of it. And then so every now and then I'll get random people, like obviously I know them, but they'll like randomly come up to me and they're just like, how's your book coming along? Like, when will we get to read it? And I'm just like, why did you have to know? Like, why did this have to become a fact that people knew? And I'm just like, I'm waiting for the day where the Men in Black tool becomes real, because I will erase everyone's memory. I will erase it. I will find a way to hack your phones and delete the messages that you saw. I'm just like, because the more time goes on, I'm just like, actually, my writing sucks. No, 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 no. No one can see this. I refuse. Imposter syndrome or not, I do not care. I'm just like, this piece of work sucks and everyone will hate it. And so no one shall see it, and I just need to erase it from just the idea of it from anyone's memory. So that is where I am at with like my writing journey. And that is where I'm at completely with this entire segment. I cannot believe that, yeah, I've made a video this long. I haven't made a video this long since I did my year review of like the best books I read in 2023. So kind of like apologies for it, but also no, because yeah, if I'm saying get to know the booktuber, let's be real. Like, I'm a whole person. Like, I'm a whole multifaceted person, and obviously, as you can see, I'm quite interesting. I'm very interesting, as you guys if you listened, if you watched, as you guys watched. So there was a lot of parts of me, but yeah, this is it. We're done, guys. Obviously, there's more to me, but we're just going to stop here because we're just going to be here for 2 hours and we can't do that. I would love, obviously, to meet the booktubers from different booktubers just so I can learn more about them. Maybe you're better than me and it won't be an hour long. I'm so sorry that it is. I'm so sorry. But if it is an hour long, yeah, we're gonna sit through it and watch it all because we just want to learn more about you guys, and it's gonna be so fun. So yeah, have fun, have fun. Even if you're in the comments and you want us to know you, put it in the comments. Let me know something about you. What did you study? Where'd you go to school? What do you do now? How old are you? What are your favorite hobbies? Like, are you a nerd? Are you a geek? Are you neither? Just let me know. What's your favorite genre? Like, just let me know in the comments. Since you guys are meeting me, let me meet you as well. I don't think you guys understand how much I actually enjoy reading the comments that I get to read and get to respond to and reply to, and the interactions that we have. Like, it's absolutely amazing. So I appreciate everyone who actually sticks by, like, when I do long videos, because that I appreciate that, guys, because I talk a lot sometimes, all the time, a lot of the time. Yeah, we're just gonna go with a lot of the time. I feel like that's a fair thing, and I ramble a lot as well. So apologies again for that. But yeah, like the fact that you guys watch the videos and enjoy them and like leave comments means the world, and I so appreciate you guys. So I appreciate you guys for watching this video. Be sure obviously to like, comment, and share. And once again, do be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Like, if you've been on this channel several times and you still haven't hit the subscribe button, what are you doing? You obviously like me. Come on, stop fooling yourself. You love me. You actually love me. And my goal would definitely be to get to like 5K or like 10K for my birthday, guys. My birthday is in a month, less than a month. So how about we treat Shelly for her birthday? I'm sure we can do it. I'm sure we can do it. Like, you know what? Share it to your friends and tell your friends. Subscribe for no reason. Like, come on. Like, let's be kind to Shelly that you love. The Shelly that gives you all the tea, all the drama happening in the book world, like, for free as well, The Shelly who's always extra for no reason. You're getting that for free. All these things that you're getting for free. So just hit that subscribe button and give your girl some love. But until next time, guys, that is it for now. It's been a great time. I am going to head off and, just set off into the new day. But I hope everyone has a great time watching this video. I hope everyone has a great time making their videos and leaving their comments. And maybe even find friends in the comments because you guys like similar things. You never know. But until next time, I'll see you soon. Bye.